Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls, a deep dive into the dark. I'm Dustin, and this is Lion's Maw Gaming. Last episode, we escaped from the Undead Asylum, and we find ourselves sitting around the bonfire at Firelink Shrine. And I figure it's about time we level up. So we're going to take the souls that we gained from defeating the Asylum Demon, and invest a point into our strength and our dexterity. And there's a man here.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, two bells of awakening. One's up above in the Undead Church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead.
Now, he does inform us of something that is pretty important. This whole time we thought we were only ringing one bell of awakening. But it seems in the legends they've lost the information that there's actually two. One above. Sorry, the grass is in the way. One above. And one below. Now there's a few more characters for us to interact with. If we walk down here, in this cage you notice a woman. No response. She cannot speak. No matter how hard we try, we can't talk to her. This is Anastasia, the Firekeeper. Keep her in mind. She's the one that keeps this fire burning. As you can see here, there's another item sitting on a corpse next to this well. And there's three more humanity. It's a bit more to explore. If you walk over here, we have another item. Some fire bombs. Bisque urn filled with black powder explodes, inflicting fire damage. Relatively powerful ranged weapon, especially in situations calling for fire damage. A very precious item at low levels. Many warriors use these to augment their strategic repartee. Report? I don't know how you say that. Repertoire? Repertoire. That's it. Apologies. Here's another person.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Firelink. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Come on, talk to me, Petrus.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
We got a copper coin. Coin made of copper. Its face shows Old Man McLoif, god of medicine and drink. Even coins of great value in the world of men have little value in Lordran, where the accepted currency is souls. Those who dream of returning to the outside world are fond of carrying these around.
Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Sure.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods. Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Let's learn his gesture. It's a shrug. And he sells some miracles. I'm afraid they're all a bit out of my price range at the moment, but that's something to keep in mind.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
So we'll bear that in mind. We can climb further up into the church. Well, it's a shrine, so not really a church. It's another corpse with another soul of the lost and dead. There's another item there. Can't get to it yet, but it's a good thing to keep in mind. Find a double elevator shaft. And if you hop down, it's a doorway leading out again. This appears to be a secret stash hidden in chests. You can find a cracked red eye orb. Online play item. Invade another world. Hollows can't not use the items. You have to be human. Defeat the master of the world you have invaded to acquire humanity. The cracked red eye orb allows players to temporarily imitate this ability normally limited to the dark wraiths of Kath. So we were able to steal the humanity from other players. We got a morning star. Hammer with a sharp spike on its pommel. One of the more barbaric cleric weapons. Uniquely, this hammer inflicts thrust damage and causes bleeding. So as you can see on the bottom left, the auxiliary effects. There's 300 bleed. What that means is after the bleed is built up to full acuity, it'll deal 30% of the enemy's health. So that's pretty good. And actually, we're going to equip that. And we also got a talisman. Medium for casting miracles of the gods. Standard talisman is issued to common believers. Equip talisman to cast miracles. Attune miracles from a scroll at the bonfire. Most miracles have limited number of uses. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have any miracles. So we'll be waiting on that. We got some homeward bones. Bone fragment reduced to white ash. Return to the last bonfire used before resting. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead. In rare cases, are the strong urge of their previous owners to seek bonfire enchants their bones with homeward instinct. Interesting. So the bonfires are fueled by the bones of the undead. So we're both fueled by the fire and find comfort in it. Or we both fuel the fire and find comfort in it, I'm sorry. Talisman utilized by Allfather Lloyd's cleric knights to hunt down the undead. Blocks Estus recovery within a limited area. In the outside world, the undead are accursed creatures, and Lloyd's cleric knights are widely praised for their undead hunts. This blessed talisman blocks undead recovery, allowing the knights to fight with impunity. So there's undead hunts in the main world, and it kind of further drives home that Lordran is a separated place. It is not part of the world. It's uniquely separate. We got skeletons. We're going to run back. Okay. We run through here. I'll look at this in a minute. I don't want to die. So if you can manage to make it back to the bonfire, all enemies will be reset to where they were prior. So the skeletons that were chasing me are now back to where they were. So we come into this room. It's a statue. Many people believe this statue to be the wife of Gwyn, and they believe that she is holding the firstborn who is a character that will be discussed a lot further on. But no one knows for sure. If we take a walk up top, and you look over there, you can see another item. So let's walk around and grab that. Another Soul of the Lost Undead. Alright. And it's time that we enter the graveyard. Hundreds of gravestones. And skeletons to guard them. And a bunch of items. Now these skeletons are very strong enemies, and it's highly advised against to try to fight them. But you can actually run through it pretty effectively and grab everything, which is what I'm about to do. So we got a large Soul of the Lost Undead there. We got a Cadeus round shield. Another large Soul of the Lost Undead. The Zweihander. Binoculars. A winged spear. And we are out of here. That's not necessarily an easy run to make, but it's one that you can make with enough practice. It's highly preferable to not die there, just to not lose your remaining souls that you have. Especially early on, your souls are very valuable. But let's go over what we just managed to grab. We got the wing spear. A long-hilted spear with a barbed point, long reach, and can be used with the shield up. Effective against hard exteriors and hits for high damage at the right moment of an enemy's swing. But the hit radius is small and is easily blocked by shields. Cadeus round shield. Round wooden shield crafted in Lordran. Decorated by an ancient blue Cadeus. The giant trees of Lordran are distinct offspring of the great stone arch trees. This shield inherits their properties, and the wood greatly reduces magic damage. As you can see, it does. It blocks 65% of magic damage, whereas our plank shield only blocks 40%. So we're going to equip the Cadeus shield. Oh, wrong hand. We're going to equip the Cadeus shield, along with our Morningstar. And then there's the Zweihander, which I believe is up. There we go. One of the gigantic straight greatswords. As the name suggests, the Zweihander is held with two hands, but its wielder must still be inhumanly strong. It is this great weight that sends foes flying when hit solidly. And then we have some large souls of the Lost Undead. Large soul of the Lost Undead who has long ago gone hollow. Used to acquire souls, souls are the source of all life, and whether undead or even hollow, one continues to seek them. So, as you'll notice, up above, there's the crow that brought us here. Now, many people believe this crow to be Velka. I believe that it's more a servant of Velka. Honestly, this task seems somewhat below Velka to participate in herself and to expose herself like this. We'll get into Velka and the other gods a little bit later on. But as you can look up, you can see that this shrine used to be a monument. But over thousands of years, it's kind of fallen into this disarray. The last item we got were the binoculars. Binoculars made of brass, used to peer at distant scenery. This advanced device was built by a famous craftsman of Astora. Its utility is singular. but its applications many. The value of these specs depend greatly on the imagination of their owner. And we will be getting a lot of use from those binoculars. To start with, as we peer off into the distance, see there's townships and these many, many scattered walls. And an incredibly large tree over there that seems to run all the way to the ground. And an even higher wall beyond us. Oops, got stuck. There we go. Looking even further above, notice a large bridge with many scaffolding below it. Then we can see an item that we can get in the future, along with some enemies to bear in mind. Now this path is the correct path to head the first place. It's the safest, it's the easiest, and that's where you're generally intended to go. If you start with the master key, there's another direction you can head, but overall I still recommend heading this way. Now this episode may have been a bit short, so we are actually going to continue on through Firelink to the next place, instead of ending it here. So we'll head up. And we'll fight our first enemy in Lordran. Oh, and that one killed himself. He was confused. And as you can see, that guy is throwing firebombs at us. We don't like that. We've got to be careful of his friend. So this enemy here, these are known as hollow soldiers. No, I'm sorry, these are hollow... Yeah, these are hollow soldiers. And not this one, the one down here. The one that had the big shield. This is known as a hollow warrior. Or maybe I'm backwards. I can clarify that once I get some of their equipment. Here's a soul of the lost undead. And if you run and jump right here, and then walk very carefully around these edges, you can come over and grab this. A ring of sacrifice. This mystical ring was created in the sacrificial rite of Velka, the goddess of sin. Its wearer will lose nothing upon death, but the ring itself breaks. So, Velka, again, comes up already. The goddess of sin. What does that mean? Is she the goddess that commits sins? Is she the one that sins are born from? It's kind of up in the air. We'll get into that later. We find ourselves with a rat. And he fell through the floor. Another soul of the lost undead. And now we're in the Undead Burg. I believe these are hollow soldiers, I want to say. No, these are hollow warriors. These are hollow warriors. The ones with the armor, like the steel armor, are hollow knight, or hollow soldiers. So as you can see, a lot of combat in this game is all about just movement and timing. You have to be very precise with what you choose to do. If you look down, you can see there's an item there. If you look even further down, you can see that there's enemies waiting for us. In all 3 spots. So we're gonna roll through these barrels, drop down, pick up a large soul of the undead, of the lost undead. These guys are gonna get up. Whoops. Oh, I'm getting ganked, and I've lost. Got a little distracted, that's all. So now we'll show off the death mechanic. You can see that anytime you die, you spawn back at the last bonfire you were at, and all the enemies are back. So, I'll meet you guys back where I was. Alright, and we are back. And this time we've learned that there's a guy that's going to attack us from behind. So if we drop down here, enter this room, we can get a soul of the lost undead. Someone's walking around. I'm actually kind of confused where that guy came from. Now I'm really confused. I didn't think there was a guy that spawned back there in the first place, but I don't know where that one came from. If anybody's got an answer for me, I'd appreciate it. That'd be cool. I'd love to learn new things about this game. I don't know where that guy came from. Where did you come from? Come here. Jerk. I don't know where he came from. I didn't skip any enemies. Well, here he dropped something. We got a broken straight sword. And not to be confused with the straight sword hilt. Half of the blade of this straight sword is broken off. Only the completely hollowed would even consider using this as a weapon. And as you can see, it's a little bit stronger than the straight sword hilt. But not much. And I didn't really explain it, but you saw that green marker on the ground earlier. Those were my lost souls. This game has a mechanic. Anytime you die, you drop everything you have. All your souls and all your humanity. And you have 1 life to try to get back and get them back. If you don't, they disappear. But if you do, it's like you've lost nothing. Just a little bit of your time. It's a mechanic I'm really fond of. It lets you make mistakes once, but it punishes you if you don't learn from them. And now if you whack these guys' hands, they fall. Makes you have to deal with less of them. And we got rubbish. Rubbish with no value. Who in their right mind would bother carrying this around? Perhaps you need it. Or perhaps you need help. That's a game poking a bit of fun at you for picking up garbage. Another thing to bring up about this game, for those of you who haven't noticed already, there's almost no music that plays. The only time music plays is during boss fights and in a few select areas, one of which being Firelink Shrine. But it's different from most games, and it kind of builds the atmosphere. Big fan of it. You're only met with the sound of your feet. We pierce another fog wall. There's an item right here. Another soul of the lost undead. Whoa! And there's a drake. More guys down there. Oh, and here comes one. As you can see, we have a bit of an ambush set up for us here. Bunch of enemies to deal with. The whole time you have to fight these ground units while there's a sniper or an archer trying to shoot you. My best advice is just keep moving horizontally. And if we open up the door down here, we have a little balcony with another item, a wooden shield. Vertically elongated wooden shield decorated with a white dragon. Wood shields are lighter than metal shields, but with lower physical damage reduction and reduced shield stability. So we got ourselves another shield. As we look ahead, see a man with an axe. If we look over there, see a couple soldiers with spears. If we look far back, you can see an item. And right there is the building we just came from. If you look far, far back there. Let me readjust so you can see a little better. It's very faint and not very detailed at the moment. But that is Firelink Shrine. There's an aqueduct that's supposed to be right about here. For some reason it's not rendered from this angle. But that is Firelink Shrine. But as we look into this room, there's another bonfire. And with this, it's time for another rest. That's going to be it for this time. I'll meet you guys back here next time. And until then, don't you dare go hollow.